Do not adjust your YouTube stream. Yes, the Rabble has new graphics. Yes, it looks like it's been done by somebody who's probably still in primary school, but the Rabble has new graphics. So yes, hello everybody. Welcome along to your afternoon Rabble here on the Rangers Rabble Podcast, brought to you by the Rabble Network and the Talk Sport Fan Network as well. My name is Martin. I am your host, and my co-host today is the happiest man you will ever meet in your life. Always positive, never get anything negative to say. Hamish, how are you?
I am all right. I can't get any better than that. It's been a hell of a couple of days, and today's no different because I am coming to you directly after an interview, so I am spent. So I don't know what if you're going to get anything out of me today, but we'll give it a go.
The Rangers ever give you anything to be hyped up and positive about you?
Well, they gave me an interview, so, it was worth throwing my hat in the ring after my football manager escapades. That's where I've just come from. Flew back this morning. No, I haven't, honestly. You never know. Might be announcing me in a couple of hours. No, they generally don't. Not these days, anyway. They used to. I grew up with positive stuff a lot of the time, but it doesn't seem to happen anymore.
Uh-huh. Yes. Sorry, I just get a little bit confused there. James Cameron has upgraded his membership to the sponsorship tier. Thank you very much, James. That means that your name will never appear, not today because I'm not that good, but moving forward, your name will appear on the screen, as does all of our sponsorship and co-owner tier members. So, and do you know that way, when you've done a new graphic, you're looking and you're going, yeah, well, that bit's off, that bit's not straight, this bit should be done better. But yes, thank you very much, James, for the support. And spinning bird flip with a super chat out of the fire into the frying pan. What could he possibly mean by that, Ian? Danny Rohl, as expected, is on his way to Glasgow to finalise his contract to become the new manager of Rangers Football Club. Now, I've probably mistitled the show. It says Danny Rohl will be the next Rangers manager / head coach, depending on whatever way you want to look at it. But Ian, he's still to sign on the dotted line. If Felwell and Stewart are there, there's every chance it still might not happen.
The first week of the international break, that was the title of, but it was just Steven Gerrard was the name there, and then last week it was Kevin Muscat, and that was the name there. Today is Danny Rohl, but you have no idea. It might not be Danny Rohl. It could be anyone, absolutely anyone. We have no idea. And if he is going up there and he's still got to talk to Thirlwell and Stewart, it could still well not be him by the end of today. You just never know, because whatever happens at Ibrox, they do not talk to us. And I thought that when the new guys came in, that the air of transparency and us knowing what's going on with the football club was going to get better. It's not. But we can only wait and see. And if it is Danny Rohl, then we've just got to do what we do when it comes to managers and get behind them. I know nobody wanted Russell Martin in, but we all did initially get behind him. We've got to do the same with Danny Rohl.
Yes, we are. No, listen, we absolutely do. And look, I'll say this, and this will be all joking aside, and then we'll get on to the serious stuff. Tim, I just looked at I done my sponsorship and co-owner tier thing on a PDF, and your name didn't come up on it. So I don't know if you need to renew or you're not on it anymore, or I've just missed your name. But if I have, then you will be on it. The podcast sponsors roll tomorrow. Don't you worry about it. The thing that surprises me most about it, Ian, is the fact that he was spoke to by Rangers before. Rangers said they would get back to him. They didn't get back to him. And then it came out that he had said, right, we'll ram it, then Rangers. All of a sudden, the Muscat deal falls through and he's back in contention. It's all rather confusing.
That bit worries me slightly, is the fact that from all intents and purposes, what we understand, he was told, we'll give you a call on Sunday. That never happened. So on the Wednesday, he was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm out. I'm done. And they went off and chased Muscat and did everything they were doing for Muscat. And he would obviously have seen this because it's not exactly been a secret. It's been out there in the world for everyone to see. And then that all, for whatever reason, which we will probably never know the truth, we have two stories. And I imagine that somewhere in the middle is where the truth is when it comes to Muscat and Gerrard. that's all gone to pot, and then they've gone back cap in hand. Have they maybe changed the dynamic of the structure to get him in the door because they want the manager in quickly? We'll have to wait and see what happens on that. Or is he the yes man that everyone at the moment is throwing about and believes that he will be? Again, only time will tell. I just don't. Again, like you said, it's confusing, and nobody knows what's going on. The left hand doesn't appear to know what the right hand's doing at this point.
No, we'll come to Thelwell and Stuart in a minute. We'll also have which has been lost in all of this, Ian. We'll have a look back at the game of the weekend, because why not? It was a game involving Rangers. We should probably discuss it at some point as well. Now, I've cheekily put on the thumbnail, Ian, the board's third choice. Does that matter at all?
Well, there's always going to be a list. I mean, we're told that we have a list of candidates and we will pick the right one. I mean, in this case, it's not going to be the right one. This is going to be two people have turned us down. So do you want it? Please don't turn us down, because we haven't got a fourth name, because the fourth name is going to be going to Nottingham Forest today. So can you please make sure that that you say yes? I mean, that in itself shows you how much people will not work for this club, that they will more than happy turn us down, but then go and work for that bandpot at Forest and be in for 2 weeks, then get the sack. And that speaks its own volumes for Dyche. Again, I can't wrap my head around what's going on. Third choice, Rohl will know he's third choice. So if he's happy to accept that, then you just got to go with it.
Right. We'll do this today, right? Because look, it's been crap lately, right? I think we can all admit it's been crap lately. So I think we should have a wee bit of fun today. Obviously, wait and see what happens with the announcement. If the announcement does happen today, if it's tomorrow, if it's not going to be Danny Rohl, if it's going to be somebody else. Let's just assume for today's show that it's going to be Danny Rohl, right? Let's get all your Rohl jokes in. We'll get them done today, and then we will never speak about them again, right? Because I've already seen a couple in the comments. So let's just get them in, get them out the road, and then we can move on and be the professional podcast that we pretend to be, right? So first one for Buffalo Alberts. I'm hearing that Danny might still be in talks with a certain club from Greenock. He may yet become a Morton's Roll, right? Now, that's a dreadful joke. An absolutely dreadful joke. But I think as Rangers supporters, we deserve a bit of a laugh, Ian. I think we've been down in the dumps for far too long, haven't we?
We have. And you can stretch it all the way back to 2012 if you want. As far back as you want to go, as more than you're happy. We had one little bright summer where it felt like the world had turned around and gone back to its rightful way and how the world should be, and red, white, and blue on the league title and all that sort of deal. But other than that, I mean, it's just been, well, you have started something, by the way. But it just seems to be one depressing thing after another. I've said on X, I mean, I put a post out on X. I don't know what to call it on X anymore, which I don't normally do when it comes to Rangers and stuff, saying I've never felt so disconnected from my football club in all my life. Even with the 2012 stuff, I was never disconnected from it. I was right behind them. Now it's a chore. The only reason I tend to watch the games now is because I'm going to be on the reaction after, so I have to. Otherwise, I can't come on. And it's really, really difficult. I just want the positivity to return. Hopefully, Danny Rohl can bring that in. I just want to be happy with my football club again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're reading far too many of these, aren't you?
I'm just reading all the jokes that's coming in. It's ridiculous. Rather have a Jelly Roll as manager from our AJ.
Jelly Roll's the singer, the country and western singer in America who's been doing things in WWE, so no wonder AJ's all over it.
Ah, right. Well, there you go. There's going to be a lot of these. You got to roll with it.
Yeah, should have been number one.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't. Roly polies instead of Murty headstands.
That's just getting me hungry, to be fair.
For the Great Wall of Canada. The mini maestro man rolling down a cliff. Not spelt correctly. I mean, it is spelt correctly, but it's not spelt correctly from John. New manager Rohl.
We get where it's going. That would probably be predictive text has changed it back. I'll give it.
I like that. I like that. And there's Ross just trying to ruin it. It's pronounced Rue. I mean, come on.
Well, Sheffield Wednesday have been getting his name wrong then because even their supporters call him Danny Rohl.
Exactly. RFC Nation roll down the line. Scream Jerseys just put in roll on square and brown sauce.
Definitely hungry now.
This is a bit harsh for spinning bird flip. Only roll I want to see in Ibrox is the one on Martin's neck. I have that I've lost a wee bit of weight spinning. This is good. I expected a bit of class from Michel Charon. Well, we're not on a roll at the moment, so maybe he can change that. That's top quality. That's top quality.
Well, there's your Red Tops headlines. If he goes on and does well and puts us back in a title race, wins a trophy or whatever, Rangers on a roll, that sort of deal. So you can credit Michel Charon for that, and he can take all the royalties from it.
Yes, he can. And if you remember the Limp Bizkit song,
yes,
keep rolling.
Of course I do, because that was the Undertaker's theme entrance for a while.
There we go. Jim Finlay, I wish Stilwell and Stuart's heads would roll. That's for Rabble After Dark, that one, Jim.
Yeah.
Roll on Championship football.
That's a high possibility.
And the final one for the moment, that's the boy arriving in Glasgow to seal the deal. Just got to roll with it, I suppose.
Again, that song should have been number one.
Yes. Let's take a wee quick look back, shall we, at the weekend's football before, and we'll come back and we'll discuss Danny Rohl and the managers. Roll out the new graphics, I like that. Discuss the game, Ian. I've said this a couple of times now. I think I said it on the kind of breaking news show that we done yesterday as well. It was an opportunity, Ian, for the players to show us something, to show us a bit of fight, to show us a bit of dig. We got that. Arlene, that's terrible. We got that for the first 45. And look, I did say a couple of times we can't really look too much at Stephen Smith. With a more experienced manager in there, but changes have been made earlier to help the team, would the result have been slightly different?
I would like to say yes, but if you look at Russell Martin, you look at Philippe Clement, before him, they weren't quick in making those changes. I mean, Martin did do some at half-time, I suppose, but I still think that Russell Martin's substitutes for the most part, and Clement's, were predetermined post the pre-game. So you're going to get X amount, then you're going to come on for him, so you need to know what you're doing when you're coming on. So I'm not sure that would have made much of a difference. And the players were out there, they'd shown in the first half what they can do. We saw a different way of playing from them. That we said that Asgard, Ant-Man, and Rothwell all seemed like different players in that first half. And for whatever reason, that didn't happen in the second half. So, yeah, maybe a more experienced manager would have changed it. But we've had more experienced managers in that haven't changed it at all themselves. And we've always complained that they've got to make subs while the going's good. We've got to be proactive instead of reactive. And every manager we've had for recent years has been reactive to whatever's going on the pitch. So going behind, losing a goal, whatever. Stevie Smith, all right, he's not a first-team coach, but he is a coach. He does coach an under-19s team, so he does know when and not to make substitutes, surely. It's a basic fundamental of being on the sidelines and watching what's going on in front of you. So not to blame Stevie Smith, because I don't think you can, for what is going to be the one game that he's in charge. But yeah, he could have just gone and reacted, been proactive with his substitutions and thought, right, Rothwell looks tired. Let's get Cameron on or Barron on. Ant-Man, he's doing well, but let's bring Curtis on because he's good for a goal, etc., etc., etc. So it's one of those ones where you don't like it, where, yeah, he's in the middle somewhere is the right answer.
Oh, I never meant to bring that up. There we go. Stephen Davis coming in. I don't know who's coming in. But just again, quickly in terms of the game, Ian, was there any players, especially in that first half, where you looked at and you went, right, okay, we've got a player here. We've absolutely got a player. Because let's be honest, we've looked at a lot of these players under Russell Martin and went, no, don't see it.
The one that stood out most, if you want, for the way he has been playing to that 45-minute window of what we saw. Telo Asgard looked more like the player we all expected when he was brought into the club. Ant-Man looked back to that Ant-Man who was playing at the initial part. And like I said, Rothwell in that first half as well looked more like the player I was expecting to see. But Asgard, for me, topped a lot. It was, I think, his best game in a Rangers shirt since he signed in. Maybe it's that freedom of not being, you have to sit here and you have to do this. Because he was given a little bit more freedom to do what Asgard can do. I was listening to TalkSport on the way back before I got home today. Martin O'Neill was on there, and he actually made a very good point when it comes to some of the signings that we've made. He said that some of the signings that were made in by Russell Martin have no right to be at Ibrox. They're not good enough to be there. There's a certain type of player that needs to be, and none of them are. Hopefully some of those will prove him wrong in that sense, but I don't think overall he's wrong. I think there's a fair few there that have no reason to be at Ibrox. They're there because of poor recruitment from it'd be a mixture of Thelwell and Russell Martin.
Well, how much did Russell Martin have to do with the recruitment is now the question that we've got to ask you.
Again, it was all beating the drum saying that these are the players that I want to bring in. These are the players that I think commit that difference at this club. That came out of Russell Martin's mouth. So whether he's covering for Thelwell and saying, I'll say it was me that did it, I mean, we'll never really know. Although Russell Martin being Russell Martin, no doubt in a couple of months' time we'll hear from him about his time at Ibrox, and he'll just lay everything on the line, and the ego will kick in and say that if he was allowed to do certain things better, then it would have been a much better experience for all, etc. But he must have had some say when he came in, because managers have to, surely, unless Thelwell is that type of person as well, with the ego saying, I'll do the signings, you get what you get. But again, unless there's someone comes out and talks, we are never actually going to know.
No, we're really not. And just come back to Asgard. I mean, the goal itself was a thing of beauty, and something that we haven't really seen that kind of quality for a long time.
We have not, and the fact that he picked that ball out, ran with it, and then actually took a shot from outside the box as well.
The way he hit the ball.
I know where to hit the ball, the way it flew in. Rabbi Matondo was probably the last one you could probably say had scored like that. That 3 each game against Celtic, something similar to it. Gassama in the early doors of the Champions League before Russell Martin coached it out of him. But just that little bit of quality which made everybody sit up and actually think, "Oh, have we changed? Have we turned that corner?" Was it Russell Martin? He's saying about anxiety of players. Was Russell Martin the problem? And it made us all sit up, and that watch along for that first 45 minutes was so positive, really positive, and everyone was happy. And then it all disappeared again. But it was just that little flickering moment, that little bit of sunshine in an otherwise dark day.
Can I get your thoughts on Magoma? I think there's a real quality player in there, Ian. I also get he's a lone player as well, right? So I don't think we can get too excited about him. But it's going to be a long season, Ian, if he's our only option at left back. I know Cornelius can kind of move over there, but then I think that kind of leaves us a little bit light in terms of options at centre back, because Giga's not cutting the mustard. Fernandez can't even get in the squad. So I think that's going to become a bit more of an issue, because the boy can't play every single game.
No, and we're going to quickly make the same mistake as we did with Yefte last season. We're going to play him far too much. Mm-hmm. So Magoma has potential. You can see there is quality there in Magoma, but it needs to be brought on. Throwing him in for every single game, at his age, can his body cope with that, for one? But there should be a backup. You should be playing a more experienced person in front of him and then just rotating him out every now and again. Like, he played against Dundee United, fine. But then you play Bran on Thursday night, you bring in the more experienced left back to play the European game, give him a rest, maybe bring him on in the second half if we're winning 2-3, 4-0. Chance to be a fine thing. But that's the way it should work. And again, that goes back to the people in charge of the club at this point in Thelwell and selling 3 left backs over the summer. All right, Yefte, you probably couldn't turn that down. Bought him for 600,000, sold him for 6 million. So's the rumor. So you probably can't turn that down. Ridvan made a chocolate, probably time to go. Robbie Fraser, still young, but could do the job, so you could keep him there. And then bring in another left back to cover that, but we just didn't do that.
Wallace.
Lee Wallace being brought back. If he can he still play? Because we could put him in. There's too much pressure on that young lad. I know that if you're good enough, you play, etc. But there's no backup for him. And I know Cornelius can play left back, but at the moment, would you say that Cornelius needs to be taken out of the centre back role because he seems to be the one solid in there?
Yeah, he does. He seems to be the one constant. What did you make of Jack Butland's comments after the game?
I actually loved it.
It's pretty scathing.
Scathing, and I loved it because it needs people to come out and say it as it is. We can all hide behind this. The players can easily sit behind Russell Martin and hide behind that, going, we're doing what the gaffer wants us to do, but we're just not getting there. Give us time, we'll do it. That weekend showed that it's not just Russell Martin. The players have got a lot to live up to, and they're not doing it. And quite rightly, Jack Butland's called out what's in front of him, because without Butland this season, we are probably in that 12th position. It's not Livingston. So it's nice to hear the truth, because he is currently our player of the year. Because without him, God knows what our season would look like.
Well, it's a fair shout. It's between, so far, I would say, him and Gassama, or however you want it.
By the way, came out of his mouth, Gassama. Did you see
the video where Raskin saying how to pronounce his name?
Yes.
Raskan.
Belgium is Raskan, which is fine. In England is Raskin. I don't really mind which. I thought it was just such a chill character, isn't he?
Yes, it allows me to continue to say Raskin because I can't get that French or Raskan.
If you do it like that, you'll have the French government after you, not just the Chinese.
Oh, I know, they're all after me. Every government. I mean, the Australians are probably after me at all with my attempt on the Morning Rabbles.
Yeah, they're going to use that big boot thing on The Simpsons that they used to kick Bart in the butt.
Yes. So I apologise to the French. I apologise to the Canadians, just because. I apologise to the Chinese and the Belgians. And I apologise to everybody because I really want to survive past my 37th birthday. That would be nice. In terms of Danny Rohl, going back to Danny Rohl, I've said this twice now and it's not happened, but it looks like he's going to be the new manager, right? I see a lot of comparisons with Russell Martin. Now, I did do a little bit of digging into Danny Rohl. I did watch back a few Sheffield Wednesday supporters discussing him. I don't think he's anything like Russell Martin. I think he does have a philosophy, Ian, that he likes to play. But when he went into Sheffield Wednesday, he looked at the squad that he had and he decided on a way of playing that would suit those players, right? He didn't go in and go, this is my style, this is what I'm going to do, this is how we're going to play. And he went into Sheffield Wednesday at a time when they were on the verge of total and utter collapse and effectively turned them round.
He did, but the Barry Bannon interview where he said that he came in, he had a philosophy he wanted to work to, but realised that wasn't going to work at that time. So did what he needed to do to get them to safety in that season. Played different styles, different formations to make sure that they got the results to stay up, which he did, which was probably his remit in that first part when he came in. And then tried to bleed in his philosophy thereafter. But he does change tactics within games, which is not something that we've been used to this season because Russell Martin stuck resolute to what he wanted to do unless we were losing, and then he just flung every attacking option he's got on, turned to the crowd and said, can any of you lot play up front because I need you to get on, and hoped that it would pay off, and once or twice it did. Livingston and St Mirren. We got a point at St Mirren and 3 points in Livingston. But that doesn't last forever. You will come up and you'll get a Falkirk, for example. So I know that Brian saying in there that his Russell Martin's team beat them 5-1, but Southampton did have a better quality of player than
much better quality
Sheffield Wednesday at that time. I mean, don't forget the ridiculousness that goes on at Sheffield Wednesday. You think our club's a bin fire right now? Well, they're not just a bin fire; they're a bin fire inside a dumpster fire, inside a bin lorry, inside a freaking landfill fire of a club right now. So, and that Southampton team that he managed to get up to the Championship in a way, a lot of that, and even he said himself, Russell Martin, that it was because the players didn't listen to him and did what they needed to do it. So, the Danny Rohl. I mean, I think the comparisons are unfair just because it is coming from the Championship and it is his first club. You are going to get that comparison, which is unfair because not every single manager is like Russell Martin. Because I remember his name was mentioned before we got Martin in, and people were like, "Oh, that could be an interesting one." They weren't completely sold, but they preferred him to Russell Martin. But now all of a sudden we don't want Rohl in at all. So scrapping around in the Championship for a reason, as in Danny Rohl or as in farewell. But if it's Danny Rohl, he's only had 2 seasons. What can you do?
But listen, I think that there's a few reasons why I don't think the supporters will be too happy about this, right? And I understand it. I mean, look, Danny Rohl wasn't even on my radar, right? I'd never really paid attention. The only thing I knew about Sheffield Wednesday was that Josh Windass played for them. I think he's at Wrexham now, isn't he? But it's another manager or player or whatever a deal we're going for from the English Championship, Ian, and that hasn't been good for us. So that's quite good. R92. We might start chanting that at Ibrox, but it hasn't worked for us, Ian. This going down to the Championship.
But then we went abroad and we brought in Clement, and that didn't work for us either.
Yeah.
The only one that has worked for us over recent time was bringing in an under-19s coach from Liverpool. And you could argue Gio coming in from Holland, but he didn't win his league and he took us to a European final. But the only thing that Gio's got in his trophy cabinet, if you like, is the Scottish Cup. So it hasn't worked wherever we've gone. So that's not to say that this one doesn't work. Everyone has to go from somewhere. When we brought in Graham Souness, I know this is going way, way back in a different time period, but we brought in Graham Souness, who I don't think at that point had ever managed, and came in as a player manager, started a successful period. Walter Smith came in after him. Again, we've said this before. At that point, I mean, he'd done nothing, and people weren't happy when Walter Smith came in as manager. Same with Big Ek. What had he ever done to deserve the Rangers manager's job, apart from a couple of decent games for Hibs and Motherwell? Went on to be really, really successful within the history of the club. So until he gives me a reason not to, I'll be backing Danny Rohl. I gave Martin a chance. So if I'm going to give Martin a chance, I'm giving Danny Rohl a chance.
Yeah, listen, I've just been sent a photograph. It's probably doing the rounds on socials of Danny Rohl at Glasgow Airport. Why are the pictures never clear?
I know, modern technology. It's like CCTV, and it just like all the modern technology and all the cameras you've got now, but CCTV cameras still look like they're pixelated and trying to.
No, but this is obviously a guy on his phone who's took the picture, but he's not even zoomed in, and he's got it pointed down the way. And if you zoom in, you can see it's Danny Rohl. You can kind of make him out. Either that, it's just somebody who looks very much like him at Glasgow Airport, but they're never just clear. And it could be AI. I don't know. That's the problem with AI now. Sometimes you just can't tell the difference.
Just can't tell. But it was like when Jermaine Defoe was taking his pictures. There was a guy in the back who had a similar build and a similar haircut to Stevie G. So everyone was like, Stevie G, they're on the way. Apart from the fact the guy was in like slacks and a t-shirt and Jermaine Defoe's got a suit on. But until we get the official picture with him with either a scarf, a top or whatever, it's all conjecture and speculation.
Of course it is. But Stephen Cole, channel member, all seriousness, how are we supposed to get behind this appointment? Well, the truth is, Ian, as harsh as this might sound, you're just going to have to. If he comes in as the next Rangers manager, there is no point in his first game of going to Ibrox and booing and shouting, get out of our club, and putting pictures on socials with the red circle of death round his face. And if he comes in and he is the manager, I mean, all right, it didn't take long, right? But I supported Russell Martin when he first came through the door, even though I didn't want him in. Didn't take long to realise that he wasn't the man for the job. But you've got to support him at the beginning, Ian. Otherwise, what are we doing?
Just remember that all of this, no matter what happens, if Rohl gets the job, none of this is his fault. He's done nothing. All he's done is come back in for a job that is available. So we've got to get behind him. It's Thelwell and Stewart that you've got to direct your anger at until such times as Rohl either proves he's not good enough or get behind him more and more as he proves he is. It's difficult because everybody wanted Gerrard. Pretty much everyone to a man wanted Gerrard, and a majority, not everybody, because it's quite evident. If you listen to the Morning Rabble, it's quite evident not everybody wanted Muscat. Even his own countrymen didn't want him. But for the majority of the fans, they did want him, and we didn't get them. So he's already onto a loser because of that. But when he comes into the club, we've got to get behind him because, yes, we are great at getting these people out, because we did it with Russell Martin. They listened and they got rid of him. But we need to be equally as good as giving them every single opportunity to prove us wrong.
Well, as Rizzo RWD, listen, we are a joke at the moment, yeah, but we cannot get on his back before he gets a chance before he gives us the chance. We are all disappointed, but why not give the guy a chance? You have to give him a chance. There is absolutely no point in starting just way, right, he's not going to work, that's it, boom, we're not supporting him. That's not what supporters should be doing. And as Brian's saying, Rohl comes in, and we all know full well any signings that come in are farewell signings. I mean, that's what now this managerial process has kind of opened our eyes to, Ian, that when it comes to bringing players in, when it comes to signings, farewell's the man. Well, Farewell and Sons.
Farewell and Sons. I mean, maybe that's what we should just name put on the gates outside now. Take the Rangers Football Club away and put Farewell and Sons out the front there. But some managers can work like that. Some managers can and do work like that. Around the world, we're not the first club to have this demographic. We've just got a real incompetent person doing it. As Posh Stewart, as we like to call him around these parts, says, the roles that are there, there's a lot of role talk today. The roles are going to be there, whether Farewell and Stewart are in them or not. It's about who's in those roles to actually make it work. I think currently we have the wrong people, but for whatever reason they're still there. And a lot of things I've heard again from Sheffield Wednesday fans on the way home today, before I go back to doing this, is that he's not the biggest and well-known manager out there, but he gets the very best out of every player he works with. So whether he brings them in or not, if he gets the very best out of them, they go on to win things. If he's waving shiny silver things at us at the end of the season, we'll forget all.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. I think we've been pretty badly affected by the Russell Martin appointment and the Russell Martin time as Rangers manager. I think that's badly affected us all. And we're just going to need to suck it up and hope that Danny Rohl is a different character, because let's be honest, let's look across the city. They ain't in any great shakes. They're in no great shakes, which I actually think makes our reaction to what's going on at Rangers are now even worse, Ian, if I'm being brutally honest. You have a look across the road and you go, God, they're terrible. But we're even worse, and we shouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, I always put their games on when they're playing, and I'll watch this till the first goal goes in. And then once that's done, then they're going to win, so I won't bother. So obviously, Sunday, the whole game was on because they didn't score. And it made my weekend a little bit brighter. And it turns out...
I forgot they were playing.
I put it on because it popped up on my phone with the BBC saying, like, Scottish fixtures today, Celtic go to Dundee, can they close the gap on Hearts, etc. So I thought I'll watch it till the first goal goes in, and it brightened up my day. And Stevie Smith done something that the Russell Martin couldn't do, at least, and clawed a couple of points back, or a point back on Celtic anyway. So something good happened at the weekend. It didn't get completely ruined.
But genuinely, I was settling in with Alex to do the EPL show for the members, the Sunday supplement. And as I was on the computer and I was researching some stuff that came up, SPFL game, Dundee 1, Celtic 0, and I went, oh, they're playing. Completely forgot. Right,
as soon as it went 2-0, I turned it off and went, right, close the doors, shut the blinds, do that sort of stuff.
Hide.
And then tuned in to said show with you and Alex while I was washing the car and cleaning it out, because it's a road office, so it was a bit of a state.
And it's a very good show. It's a very good show.
If you make me watch the Man United Liverpool game, just so you know.
Yes, there you go. And if you want to see that show, then join as a member now. Links are in the description for YouTube or Patreon. All the live stuff is on YouTube, and all the then audio stuff, which is then obviously downloaded and uploaded onto Patreon. For your audio listening pleasure. Most shows are on the Rabble supporters tier. We do have extra shows, including the EPL show on the CEO tier. But yeah, go and check it out. And if you want to help support an over 500 strong members community, by the way, over 500, then come and join us and get access to loads and loads of extra content, and join the Rabble Discord as well. Although you need to have your wits about you to go into that Discord.
Yes,
Honestly,
you do.
really do. Our very own Ian Thompson put out a poll on our Twitter earlier on. Looks like it's Rohl if it is happy, and obviously the options were yes and no. It's got 21 hours left on it. 1,098 votes so far. 27% yes. 93. Yeah, 93. That's how good my maths are. 73% no. And that's with 1,000 votes. So yeah, he's got an uphill task. He certainly has. But as Beat Bop Boop says, I'll back Rohl, but Stewart and Thelwell need chased. Yes, Beat Bop Boop, they absolutely do. Thank you for the support, my friend. And our new sponsorship member, James Cameron, the Thelwell Crime Syndicate. Obviously, those are the views of James Cameron. They're not necessarily the views of the Rangers Rabble podcast. But yeah, back Rohl. But Stewart and Thelwell, I think with the Rangers support, are done, Ian.
Oh, absolutely, they're done. I think they've been done for some time. You've seen a fair few videos on X as well this week with people getting up close and personal to the director's box. One being walked out by security and a couple of others staying far enough away to make sure that they don't get caught up in it all. But yeah, I mean, does there come a point in time where for their own safety they're not actually able to go to Ibrox? And that should tell Kavanagh and Marathe exactly what needs to happen if they don't already know. But I did like the fact that the banner for the protest was over the Govan stand so they could actually see it. Because, like I said, on the reaction to it, so they can easily just pretend they didn't see it when it's down with the Union Bears. But now they can't get away from that because it's in their eye line, and every time they look across, it's there. And we just got to keep doing that because they've got to go. I'll nail my flag to the mast on that one and say that those two have got to go if this club wants to improve.
Colours, nail my colours to the mast.
And if I get it right, it'll be wrong because we don't do that here.
Yes, we get all metaphors we get completely wrong. Absolutely. The Storm unit gifted 10 Rangers Rabble podcast memberships. Absolutely outstanding. So congratulations to Andrew Johnson, Blue Ninja, Buffalo Alberts, Slubs, Ross McLaren, Richard Allen, Jamie, GT Hume, Kane Baxter, and Gaza, who were gifted Rangers Rabble podcast memberships by Storm Unit. And then he followed it up by saying, get tuned in. There we go. So Storm Unit, thank you so much for the support, my friend. And I hope that all the guys that get gifted memberships enjoy the content enough that they then sign up themselves. That is the aim. So thank you very much. Just finally, Ian, before I let you chill from your interview, this from Dale. Do you think if Rohl comes in, he can help Gassama get back to the supposed form he had at Sheffield Wednesday? Now, I haven't seen this, but I have heard about it, that apparently Danny Rohl got the absolute best out of Gassama while he was the manager there.
Well, we've signed him off the back of his Sheffield Wednesday stuff, and Danny Rohl was the manager in charge at the time. So hopefully he can, because he disappointed me at the weekend for the most part. I mean, he did play well first half, not like he can, but second half for me, I thought he just disappeared out of the game. So we need someone to bring him back up and just to get him to do the simple things that he does best that we saw early doors. Again, I think with some of the players, it is a confidence issue. We just got to get their confidence up, and you might actually start to see players play the way they should instead of within themselves. And with Rohl, and they've got a previous connection, so I'm hoping we can see that.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited to see, because Danny Rohl at least know how to get the best out of him.
Yeah, and he has done. So let's hope we can see that again.
Exactly. And well, Andrew has gifted 5 Rangers Rabble podcast memberships, which have went to Vexul, Richie McDonald, John from the Isle of Man, James Stalker. You just hope he's not following you. And Louis Martin. Brackets, Slender Spartan 0. So there we go. So congratulations, guys. And I hope you do enjoy all the extra content that we bring you. We are live tonight at 7:15 for our members show. So I hope you can all tune in for that. Listen, by the end of today, we should probably have some form of announcement. 6:30, by the way, tonight is the women's show as well. And at 9 p.m. tonight, we have the WWE 2K25, which is available for all channel members as well. That is members versus podders, members versus members, podders versus podders, in the WWE 2K25, hosted by our very own Hamish. So there's plenty. Monday's always the busiest day because we've had the morning rabble, then we've got the afternoon rabble, then we've got the women's show, then we've got the member show at 7:15, and then we've got the wrestling at 9 p.m. So 5 shows in one day. Can't ask for more than that. Right, Ian, thank you very much.
No problem. Glad I could get back to help out.
Yes, and if there is any breaking news, then we will be back. We will absolutely be back if there is any breaking news. I just want to say a big, massive thank you for every single comment. Before you leave, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, if I could just ask you to leave a like and make sure that you are subscribed. It really, really does help out the channel. And consider joining as a member if you want access to loads of extra content and to help support independent Rangers media. Like I say, we've flown past 500 channel members, which is incredible. Make sure you join us tonight anyway. The women's show will be on public YouTube at 6:30. And Timothy Sharp has upgraded his membership to co-owner. Incredible support. Tim, your name will definitely be on the sponsors board now. So go and enjoy the rest of your Monday, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we shall speak, Ian,
very, very soon.